Most of us have loved ones on the other side that we miss dearly. But wouldn't it be comforting to know that they're still around you? I'm Steve Christian from Local Haunts, and today I'm going to tell you about a shout out I had from a heavenly loved one, not once, but twice, and with photographic evidence to prove it. Back in the summer of 2012, I started working with my business partner and soulmate, Pamela Theresa, medium in the raw, and she started to help me open up my gifts with the spirit world because all my life the paranormal has been my normal. But when I started working with Pamela Theresa, medium in the raw, things started ratcheting up just a little bit. Now, Pamela Theresa is a true spiritual medium. She sees and hears the dead like you see and hear me right now. She doesn't have to go into a trance. She doesn't need tools or props. She just sees them, hears them, and tells you what they're saying with 100% accuracy. If it doesn't make sense today, it will tomorrow, guaranteed. Pamela told me that I had loved ones around me all the time. She described to me a beautiful female that was around me all the time, as well as an elderly gentleman that looked a lot like me. Who she was describing was my Aunt Anne, who took her own life when I was about 6 years old, and my grandfather, who died of natural causes when I was about 4 years old. She went on to describe my aunt and my grandpa in very exact detail. And when I showed a picture of them to her, she's like, "Yep, that's your aunt. Yep, that's your grandpa." Even though they were long gone at this point, they weren't far away at all. They were always with me. One morning after a night of Jedi training with Pamela Theresa, helping me open up my spiritual gifts, I was getting up to go to work. And I woke up at my usual time, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking down my hallway to my shower. And I lived alone at this time. And I heard a voice, plain as day, loud and clear, with some interesting qualities to it. I heard a female say in a sing-songy kind of way, she said, "Here he comes." And I stood there in the hallway like dumbstruck. I'm like, that was distinctive. I heard that. I didn't just hear it, I felt it. It was a warm vibration that flowed through me when I heard this voice. It was very comforting. Now, being a paranormal investigator, I had heard a lot of disembodied voices in my life, but this one was a lot different. It had that heavenly stamp on it, you might say. I was so taken back by hearing this voice, I actually went walking through my house trying to debunk the source. I thought maybe I left my TV on in the man cave, so I went and checked that. No, there was no radios on, no TVs on anywhere, no source for a voice in my house at 6 o'clock in the morning. Later that day, I mentioned to Pamela what happened, and she told me, "You know who that was, right?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "That was your Aunt Anne." Now, how did Pamela know that? Because she has real time communication with the spirit world and knew that Pamela and I would be having this conversation. And she was right there validating to Pamela that was, in fact, her that I heard. It was warm and comforting. She had been dead for 40 years, but yet she was letting me know that she was right there with me. And she was very happy that I was opening up my spiritual gifts. Fast forward about 8 months later, Pamela, Teresa, and I had moved in together into a new house. And then one day I was in the house just scrolling through my phone, doing nothing important. And Pamela was out on the front porch, on the porch swing, having a cigarette. And of course, spirit is always around her. But while I'm scrolling through my phone, minding my own business, I was interrupted by the sound of a very sweet female voice moving around me like surround sound. And it just went, "Hey," as it circled around me. It was like, whoa. It literally was like in a home theater with surround sound because it was moving around me. And I'm like, wow. So I was the only one in the house at the time. So I ran out to the front porch. And before I even said anything, I was going to tell Pamela. Before I said anything, Pamela was like, "Your Aunt Anne says, hey." And I was like, whoa. I'm like, "I was coming out here to tell you that." And she goes, "Yeah, well, she was out here a second ago and she said, hey." And then apparently went in the house and did the same thing to me. So it was a validation of what happened to me. And it was pretty cool. Now, later that day, I was sitting on the porch swing with Pamela Theresa, and I decided to take a selfie of the two of us sitting there enjoying the beautiful day. And when I took the picture, something unusual happened. Here's the picture I took. That hand does not belong to either one of us. Pamela and I were alone, and I was holding the phone, and that ain't her hand either. That was Anne saying hey again. How cool is that? So, isn't it comforting to know that your loved ones aren't floating on a cloud somewhere strumming a harp? No, they're very much a part of your life. You are the focus of their life now because their life continues through you. Now, even though my Aunt Anne wasn't a huge part of my life growing up because she died when I was so young, she is very much a part of my life now. She's part of my spiritual posse. Her, my grandpa, and now my Uncle Bunky, who's on the other side, is very much a part of my life as well. So be comforted by the fact that your loved ones never leave you. Now, my Aunt Anne, my grandpa, and my uncle aren't earthbound. They're not ghosts. They are very much heavenly, but they're very much around me all the time. They never leave your side. How about you? Have you ever had a shout out from the other side from your loved ones? Let us know in the comments below. And if you'd like to schedule a session with Pamela Theresa on Medium in the Raw, because her day job is connecting people to their loved ones on the other side, you can see her contact information in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. And tune in next time for more My Haunted Medium Life.